So 50 Cent is doubling down on his exposing of Courtney Kemp, the former Starz executive. Now she's over at Netflix, who was the showrunner for Power, his series that everybody knows and loves. Apparently, 50 has some allegations, or he's creating this narrative, whether it be true or false, I don't know. But the narrative is that Courtney Kemp was a pervert and she was trying to force actors to sleep with her behind the scenes on some Weinstein, on some Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein.
What?
Allegedly. 50 has exposed this, and he's been in the media talking about her recently.
Shout out to urban legend Will Evans. We respect him a lot, but I don't know if I believe this right here. 50 Cent been outside a lot lately. He did the pop out at the Versus battle, just dropped his new sneakers.
You don't bring back a legend.
Things been looking good for the boy, with the exception of they saying he might have gotten Me Too. Say it ain't so, 50. 50 Cent is talking about Courtney Kemp again, and this time I need y'all to listen carefully to what the man is actually saying, because there's what 50 Cent said, and then there's what the internet has decided he must have meant. Those are two different things. But what 50 actually said is already enough to make this whole story interesting, because according to 50, behind the scenes of Power, things between Courtney Kemp himself and Omari Hardwick got a whole lot uglier than the audience knew. And apparently, Ghost almost got taken out a whole lot earlier.
He wanted to do it. I didn't mind killing Kanan when it came time, but it was one of those things where, look, at some points, when people have success for the first time in their career, sometimes they need it to be all as, right? So the difficult thing is, if they have their success for the first time and it's a 50 Cent show, it is a 50 Cent show. Like, publicly, people look at it like it's presented by 50 Cent. It's 50 Cent. The story is from Southside Jamaica, Queens. Everything is 50 Cent tied to the show. The music that's playing is 50 Cent. It got awkward for the writer, for the showrunner, because she felt like it was registering as a...
She don't look like she got no steam in her. Y'all think she look like she got some steam in her? Epstein, Weinstein?
And that turned into, it got weird with her behaviors and the things that was going on behind the scenes with her. And then it also was friction between her and Omari, because he was feeling like he was the lead and the star of the show. So she was having a problem with anybody who was leading the show, because she felt like it was her show, like it was hers. And it was a show rightfully as a writer, but he is the star of the show. Omari would have died, Ghost must die, he would have died where Kanan died, that much earlier. She planned to kill Omari's character off right there.
Why? Because she wanted that Hardwick? He wouldn't give her that Hardwick? See, that's interesting, because notice what 50 didn't say. He didn't say we just had a little creative disagreement. He said it got weird. And then immediately starts talking about success, credit, and who people thought the show belonged to. Now, everybody who watched Power knows Courtney Kemp created the show. We got to put some respect on that. But let's also be grown men about this. When Power hit the streets, who was the biggest name attached to that thing? 50 Cent. Theme song. It was a big rich town. 50 Cent. Executive producer, 50. Promoting it everywhere, 50. And once the show got rolling, who did the audience fall in love with? Ghosts. So what 50 is describing sounds like three different kinds of ownership crashing into each other. Courtney could legitimately say, I created this. 50 could legitimately say, my name helped sell this. And Omari could legitimately say, that's how successful partnerships start to get funny. Everybody's technically right until everybody starts needing to be the most right.
She planned to kill Omari's character off right there. And I'm like, nah. I could feel how the general public was feeling about it, and I knew that was not the right decision. And I was saying, well, she said, well then, if he doesn't die, something has to happen, something big has to happen. And I'm like, me? Like, kill my character? Like, I got other shit to do. I could go be 50 Cent and then I don't have to be here anymore. Like, look, I took a pay cut to be there the entire time that I was on that show. Like, that, I was being paid in the very beginning $17,000 per episode. while executive producing the show, or being the music supervisor pretty much for then doing the theme song and all the promotion and publicity. It wasn't until the third season that they would accept the show on Good Morning America without me being there. I'm technically the star of Power until I introduced everybody to it, and then Omari Hardwick turned into the star of Power.
Now, that is the story. According to 50 Cent, Ghost was supposed to die way earlier, and 50 says he stopped it. He basically said, nah, the audience ain't going for that. Kill me instead. The funniest part is 50's reasoning. The man basically said, kill Kanan, I got other stuff to do because I'm a baller. I got stuff going on. I'm not going to stand here making y'all 15 G's or whatever he said it was per episode where he can go on tour and make much, much more and produce other shows and do other things that create revenue. Somebody's got to die, yeah. All right, kill me. I got meetings on Tuesday. Think about what this means. If 50's account is accurate, he believed killing Ghost at that point would have been bad business, and I agree with him. Ghost wasn't just a character on Power by then. Ghost was Power to a huge part of the audience. You could hate Ghost. You could think Ghost was selfish. You could think Ghost deserved everything that eventually happened to him, but you wanted to watch Ghost. And that's currency. This is where I disagree with some of the commentary I've seen online. People are taking what 50 said and filling in the blanks that 50 himself did not fill in. I don't need to do that because the confirmed argument is more interesting anyway. 50 is accusing Courtney Kemp of allowing ego and personal friction to influence creative decisions. That's a serious criticism all by itself. And it's something that we can actually discuss. Was killing Ghost the best decision for the story? Or did somebody behind the scenes simply get tired of Ghost? Those are very different things.
We start writing a year before everybody sees it. So we opened the writer's room the first week of May. So if you think about what you're watching right now, what you will watch on July 17th this year, we started talking about that the first week of May, May 4th, 2015. So it takes that long. I mean, people are always like, why do we have to wait a whole year? That's how long it takes.
But we could do more.
We could.
They were business partners. Same table, same franchise, building something that became gigantic. That's why I always tell people success doesn't automatically destroy relationships. Sometimes success just reveals what people thought the relationship was supposed to become. One person thinks we won. Another person thinks I won. And those two sentences can destroy an entire partnership. Now, since we're talking about freaky stuff and all that, there is another famous Courtney and 50 situation from years ago, the Kanan news scene. 50 publicly complained after the episode aired and said he wasn't happy with what ended up on television. Courtney's position was basically, sir, you signed the waiver. Let's look at this article. 50 Cent slams Power creator on social media for inserting a nude scene. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson took to social media Sunday to slam Power creator and executive producer Courtney Kemp for inserting a nude scene featuring the rapper into his latest episode. Man, I just saw episode 4 of Power. Courtney, I'm going to kill you. This is not funny. Jackson, who is also an executive producer and star on the hit drama, wrote on Instagram on Sunday about how his Johnson is exposed during a X scene. Don't kiss my cheek. Kiss my black, you know what I'm saying. The rapper continued in a now deleted Instagram post that featured Kemp kissing the rapper on the cheek. This is not funny. Tell the people from Starz stop calling my phone. Kemp responded confidently on Instagram, noting that Jackson knew what he was getting himself into and agreed to appear nude. Ghost must die and 50 Cent must lie because you knew what you were shooting during 404. She wrote referencing the characters from the show before noting you signed the waiver like everybody else. And what happened is that 50 later explained publicly that it was all just a flim-flam and a publicity stunt. He said that he knew that they had filmed nudity, but what he believed he saw beforehand wasn't as explicit as what ultimately aired. So there was definitely a public controversy, but here's the part that people leave out. Courtney later says the feud was staged. Courtney Kemp later claimed that at least part of the public fight between her and 50 over that scene was staged for promotion. Power showrunner says 50 Cent nude beef was staged. This is from Black America Web. The creator and executive producer of Power is coming out clean in an August 2016 Instagram spat about the show's producer star 50 Cent was sparked after a full frontal shot of his Johnson was shown on camera in a now deleted post. 50 Cent cursed out Kemp while accusing her of allowing his private parts to be shown without his consent. He even brought his auntie G Money into the debate, claiming she was traumatized after watching the scene. Kemp clapped back with a simple reminder of who was boss on the series. She posted a still of her executive producer credit and the caption, "I'll just leave that right there." And as it turns out, it was all just for talk. And, that's kind of important because I'm not going to sit here 10 years later and tell y'all the scene proves somebody violated 50. It doesn't. The people involved gave different explanations. That's why you use receipts. But that brings us back to today, 2026. Because regardless of what was marketed 10 years ago, 50 doesn't sound like he's doing a cute television promotion in this new interview.
She planned to kill Omari's character off right there. And I'm like, nah. I could feel how the general public was feeling about it. And I knew that was not the right decision. And I was saying, well, she said, well, then if he doesn't die, something has to happen.
And that's strong because 50's argument is essentially Ghost didn't have to die when he did. And he believes Courtney's feelings towards Omari influenced that decision. Now, again, that's 50 Cent's version of events. Courtney Kemp is entitled to have a completely different version. And unless somebody has emails, production notes, contracts, testimony, something, I'm not turning 50's version into established fact. But I absolutely understand why people are listening. Because this man wasn't watching Power from his couch like us. He was in the building. I think the biggest story was Courtney Kemp secretly this horrible person? I can't prove that. The better question is, did personal ego hurt Power? Because that happens everywhere. Music groups, podcasts, comedy, business, television. 2 or 3 people build something successful together, and eventually everybody starts measuring who the audience loves more. And once that starts, man, people will burn down $100 million house arguing about whose name belongs on the mailbox. So here's where I land. 50 Cent has given us credible reason to believe there was a serious creative and personal friction behind the scenes of Power. He directly says there was friction involving Courtney Kemp and Omari Hardwick. He directly says Ghost was supposed to be killed substantially earlier. And he directly says he disagreed with the decision and offered his own character instead. What he has not given us, at least publicly, is enough evidence to turn internet theory about Courtney Kemp into fact. And I'm not doing that part for him. If 50 knows more, 50 needs to say more. Don't throw smoke grenades into a room and then make the internet tell us where the fire is. But I will give 50 this much. If Ghost really was supposed to die when Kanan died, thank God somebody was in that room to say no. Because I really liked the show and I thought it was going great. I don't think Ghost should be dead now if you ask me. Because I don't know what the hell Power would have been without Ghost. Matter of fact, y'all tell me, did Courtney make the right decision eventually killing Ghost? Or do you agree with 50 that Power could have kept going without Omari Hardwick? And the bigger question, do you think 50 is finally telling the whole story about what happens behind the scenes? Or is this man still only giving us pieces? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh, man. Ooh, we're failing as a people.
If you like that video,
drugs, luxury vehicles, coochie,
and you want to see some other dope videos,
luxury vehicles,
check out this one. We worked hard on it for you.
luxury vehicles, violence, 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 violence.